Hello and welcome to Boyles of Killorglin for another Kerry Garden Show. Those of you who are listening in, that is where we are, and those of you who are watching will well know this familiar setting that we come to here every week for the garden show, and of course our very familiar gardening expert Miguel. Miguel, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Well listen, I just wanted to, we were going to talk today about a certain element of gardening that I guess we haven't really kind of talked about or dug into that much. So I was away for a week there and I came back, and yesterday evening my lawn was just huge. So I went straight away and I went cutting the lawn, and then as I was kind of doing it, I was like, the grass and the waste that we kind of have afterwards, and where it goes and where we put it and how we use it. And is there a better way that we could be actually using it for a more environmentally way? So
where do you put it? What do you do with it? Yeah, just nothing.
Well, most we kind of put it over the back wall.
And you leave it there always.
Yeah,
Have
pretty
you ever
much.
gone there?
Huh?
Have you ever gone there and put your hands there to see if it's, because if you go and if you constantly put it in that same pile, you'll see the pile is going down.
It does. It gets flatter.
Right?
It gets darker.
And it goes darker.
Yeah.
Okay? If you go and put your hand in that thing,
the heat.
you probably will be feeling the heat.
Yeah. Now that's
composting.
Okay? Yes.
That doesn't mean that it's good for adding it straight away to
a garden. Yeah.
So ideally you should add that composting, okay?
Which is our topic of today.
Exactly, composting. So that is a part of a good compost. Green
part.
Okay? Why you should start? Why should you compost? So it's a sustainable way of getting your own compost. That compost will improve the soil. We have talked plenty of times of improving the soil. Believe it or not, it will be aerating clay soils, and it will be improving the draining of sandy soils. So it will be retaining soil in sandy soils and helping to filter water in clay soils.
Okay.
It will improve the soil. Increases biodiversity because that compost is not treated, is not chemically treated, is not packed, is pure compost. It has plenty of microorganisms, so it's very beneficial for the soil in many ways. The problem is doing it all right. Doing it good.
Doing it the right way, yeah.
The right way.
That's the one thing, I guess, as I mentioned, that by what we don't do, we don't talk about,
So what we need, well, we have to pick the right compost, the right place. The right place will be half sun, half shade, partial shade, or whatever you want it.
Okay.
Find a corner that you don't need and put it there. Then it's a few factors you need to know is what to add, what not to add.
Okay.
What not to add. Okay. That's very important.
Yeah.
That's extremely important. It's meat, fish, grease, dog feces, cat litter, raw eggs. Those type of things you don't want to add, that they decompose very, very slowly.
Okay.
They attract rodents. You don't want rodents around. They attract unwanted wildlife, okay? Foxes, anything. They're plastic things. They can push them, lift them, they'll
find a way. They'll find a way, yeah. So you want to literally just keep it to a certain, you're talking about your organic matter from your gardens, which would be your branches, your tree, your leaves, your grass.
Your green
like
waste.
Your cuttings, things that you've kind of clipped off.
So,
but also, you did mention, talk to me beforehand, you talk about meat and them not, but you can add, so your potato peelings.
Yes.
You can know your carrots that the kids didn't eat, or the broccoli.
Exactly.
So there are veg.
Rotten vegetables, cooked or uncooked vegetables, you can add them no problem.
Okay.
Eggshells, any fruit except in citrus peeling. Orange peelings or lemon peelings.
Oh, okay, so you don't add them.
Don't add that.
Okay.
You can add the orange if you want, if you don't like it, but don't add the peelings. You can add onions. Some controversial opinions there. I think some people say that no onions, but I don't think it's any problem in onions.
And is it similar? The reason you don't add them, is it similar to the meat? Is that it takes time for them to break down?
Yeah, and it attracts somehow some undesirable bacteria or something like that. But I don't know if that is
That's
true or not,
100%
because
or not, yeah.
you can find different informations about it.
Yeah. So best thing,
Different information
keep
as
the
well.
peelings out of
Keep
the orange and lemon.
Orange,
but
lemon,
fruit
yeah.
and
any
cooked
fruit, any cooked or uncooked fruit, rotten food, moldy, bread,
yeah.
preferably moldy as well.
Okay.
Cardboard, kitchen paper is well received there.
Yeah. What about the old newspaper? People have used that as well. Is
very
that,
good as well.
Yeah, that
very
can be good.
And in fact, there's some studies that say that they has less toxins than green waste, actually.
Less toxins.
Less toxins,
yeah, okay.
Actually, I don't know. It isn't. You know, if you studies for everything.
There is, yeah.
So you can find probably the other totally opposite.
Yeah.
But they are being always used, and they are welcome into that composter. You need to have a proper mix of that. Okay.
Okay.
So carbon rich will be called brown. They call it brown. That will be green. Dry leaves, dry branches, cardboard, newspaper. That has to be 2 parts, and 1 part has to be green. You can go half and half.
Okay.
Half brown, half green.
Half green, yeah.
Okay. Half green. Green will be green leaves, green waste, green clippings, and kitchen
food. Yeah.
That will be green. If you go more green, well, we're going step by step. How to do it? That needs movement and humidity. So you need to, if you have a tumbler like the one we have here, it's a closed cylinder. You have a lid here. You introduce this. You have to move it once or twice a week.
Okay, right. And just give it a little.
At least once a week.
A little kind of movement. So that's the movement that you're talking about there. So the green and brown waste would kind of mix in together.
Now you go to those fellas.
Yes. Now
those fellas are in touch with the ground. You cannot tumbler. You cannot move. Fork. Or, if you have the patience, change it, swap it to another one, an empty one next to it.
Yeah.
Do you need that? You need air. That's the key, okay? Humidity, air, and the right amount of brown and green. So if you go too much green and too much water, you will find a slimy, smelly
then it will turn into that, yeah.
And you need to add manure and more brown to amend that. Okay. On the other hand, if you add too much brown and it's too dry, it will be dry, obviously. That will be not decomposing. So you have to add green or water it. Water it is very important. That pile cannot be dry.
Okay.
So it's very important.
So the moisture is a huge part
you have to
of
go
breaking
with a
down.
watering can or a hose and check that pile and water it every now and then. Very important. So it's 3 keys in this: is the amount of debris you put on each thing, the water, and the movement. The air. So now, once you have done all this and you are feeling this, you're moving it, you're keeping water, you can add, especially here, because on the open ones, they are in touch with the ground. You should leave pure earth. So clean the area of lawn, for example.
Okay, right. So you make sure that
it's just earth.
The soil.
Okay, soil. Put that on top. All the worms, all the microorganisms will come there.
Through it. Right? Ah, yes.
While
so
this
that fella doesn't have them.
Doesn't have any access for them. So you add this compost maker or manure, a layer every 6 inches, every 15 centimeters, and keep moving it. That will encourage the microorganisms in the soil, will start decomposing the plant.
Okay.
So Now,
biological accelerator. So that's it. It just helps to for it all to go
exactly.
quicker.
That's very recommended for these tumblers.
For the closed tumblers, yeah.
So now, when do we have that ready? We have it ready. It depends on what you add, okay? But you can say from 8 weeks, 6 months to 2 years.
Oh, it's a long process, Miguel.
Here it says 8 weeks or something like that. I'm not very sure about that.
Okay.
Because that has to be perfectly composted, okay? How do you know that? It has to be a dark, crumbly, fluffy or loose soil.
Okay.
With that smell of humidity and dampness that you find in woodlands on these places, that nice smell, you know, like earthy smell.
Yeah.
That's the way you know when it's ready. Now, you could face some parts done, some parts and done when you empty the whole thing. You can keep the non-fully composted ones aside to add it to the next one.
To start, maybe start a new one. Yeah.
As a start, it will be fantastic. They need a start. So it's not about practice adding a small layer of manure on the bottom of the.
And when you say manure, are you talking about coming in here and buying a bag?
Buying a bag of manure or getting getting manure from a friend or from your farm or from. Not dog manure.
No, anything with dog and cat manure.
Horse manure, farmer manure, chicken manure, all that, or a little bit of this.
Okay.
In the bottom, that will give a good start. Good start is very interesting. Now, how can we use that? We can mulch. Very interesting, mulching with that.
Okay.
Mulching around the plants, or just spreading it around. Top dressing, trying to spread as much as you can.
Yeah.
Because at the end, that is 2 or 3. A full tumbler will be 3-4 bags of compost, 4 or 5 bags maybe. But it will be something that you know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. You've literally put in everything into it.
Exactly. Something that you know that is beneficial, really beneficial for your garden. Very beneficial. You'll see the difference if you do it properly. It's like adding farmer, like spending 8 quid
for the farmer
manure.
Yeah.
And it's fully organic. It's very interesting. It's a first step for growing organically.
Yeah.
It's a good way of getting rid of waste. And yeah, of course you can put it in the bin and the whatever company collects it, but
absolutely. Well, it does. It actually would actually save money in the long run. Really, is kind of what
and
what
it's
it also
small
has.
things. You cannot fight against the Amazonian deforestation or something, but you can start with the small
something
things.
Small. Yeah, it's a nice small way to help the environment.
Exactly, and if all of us do something small, between all of us, it will be something big. And it's the 1,000-mile journey step starts with one step, so that could be the first step for going organic.
Yeah. And so you're talking about that. What about adding? Would it be good then for like a vegetable garden and stuff? Like if you were adding it to that, or
if you have raised beds, or if you have some small orchard or something, that would be ideal.
Okay.
One thing before I forget about it. When you add green, you can add weeds. You weed your garden, weeding your garden. Those left weeds, those pull out weeds, you can put them in the composter. Be careful. Be careful if they are sitting. If they have flowers, if they have seeding, because you are adding those seeds to that compost.
And you're literally giving it an environment to.
Once you spread that out, once that is ready, those seeds will be fantastic there and growing very quickly in your orchard, in your raised bed. So it's very important. If in doubt, don't add that weeds. Just be careful with the flowers. If it's in flower, the flower is gone, but the seeds are there, that will be germinating, contaminating your compost.
What also about, you're talking about contaminating, you know, if you had come across some black spot or, you know, stuff like that on certain leaves.
That's another thing.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that stuff as well, don't you?
Diseased, no bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno. Disease leftovers or for clipping, or
Yeah.
if it's black spot or rust or
mildew,
any
of that.
disease,
Yeah.
don't add it.
Because then you're putting it into a humid environment that will just...
Yeah, they will be boosting that fungus. That will be mildew, at least it's an aerial fungus.
Okay.
And it won't be
Too bad.
best, if in doubt, don't add it.
Don't add it, yeah.
If it's any sign of disease, don't add it. But if you clip your hedging, that's perfect as green.
Yeah.
Same as clippings.
Okay.
If you're pruning a diseased apple tree, don't add
An ash tree or something, yeah.
Yeah, just some logic. Apply logic, because that will remain in the soil like the seeds of the weeds.
The weeds, yeah.
And it's very important that thing is fully composted and free of all these things.
Yeah.
And again, I people tend to add things that they are not good for that. No meat, no fish, no full eggs, no raw eggs, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Banana peels, all fruit peels, apples, whatever, leftovers.
As you say, the strawberries
No
in the
bones,
that were gone off, you know, in the fridge. You know, you buy a thing in the supermarket. You know, it was a bigger pack than you could actually eat.
Yes.
All of these little blueberries gone off, all that sort of stuff. Your bananas and stuff.
That it. Put it aside, or put it in a small bin. They give you.
So there's a lot of organising to it, really, Miguel, isn't it? Again, you have to be kind of organised in regards to. You were saying if you had one of these standing ones, it might even be best to have two. You know.
It's not easy to move.
Yes.
Things. So it will be better. I would use a fork and go rowing with the fork.
Okay.
A little bit. But it needs essential.
The air.
So what I have seen is people adding things that they are not for that.
Yeah.
People using it before it's ready.
Okay.
People not using the right mix. So people using more garden debris, more kitchen than any other thing.
Then should have gone
Don't
in.
adding brown. Yeah. So plain, basically green waste and kitchen waste. That will produce a stinky, rotting, attracting everything you don't want.
Yeah, okay.
Will be the liquid will start pouring,
and then we'll start going out into
so
the
you
ground.
I have seen this stinky liquid coming out of these things, like which is that's an excess of green.
Okay.
We have talked about that.
Yeah,
careful with that. The way to change that: add manure, add compost from a bag, add more brown. Move it, and that should be easy to fix.
Yeah.
And be careful not to use it before it's ready. Some people say 8 weeks, some people say 8 days, some people say 8 months, some people say 8 years.
Yeah.
But the trick is just crumbly, dark brown, nice
kind
forest
of aroma
smell.
From it. Yeah, nothing
like
too strong.
But maybe people don't.
Yeah.
But I like this. When you go in the middle of autumn or early spring.
Walk into the woods. I know exactly what you're saying with the moss and stepping on the moss and that beautiful scent. Yes. So listen, it is, and as you said at the very outset, you know, this is great for your garden. It's great for the environment, and it's something that if you have the time and if you are willing to kind of get one of these composters, we should all be doing a small little step, as you said, on the long road of trying to help it.
Is the first step for going organic.
Yeah. Excellent.
And so
that's great. Yeah.
Do we have time for going organic? No?
No, we might have to save that for another show.
Oh, all right. Okay.
So listen, that's great. So that's a great head start on composting. We might come back and revisit, Miguel, and talk about the organic way of kind of growing and stuff like that.
That was my idea.
Yeah, but we talk so much. We have so little time. We'll put in for an extension with Radio Kerry for the show.
All right.
But listen, that's it for this week. Hopefully we've given you some great ideas on how you could possibly get your compost heap looking as and as beneficial as it possibly could, and helping out your garden. Miguel, thank you so much yet again.
Thank you.
Until next week, folks, happy gardening.